basically anybody that's not a Dodger fan, that question is going to come up. Hey, is this good for baseball? And my hope is that I can get Dodger fans to try to get their perspective on this. Again, just do me a favor. Try as best as you can to say, let me see what my perspective is on this and see if there's any way that you can give your opinion on it. I'm going to start off by saying this. The Dodgers didn't just become a good organization last year. Okay? Since the Guggenheim Group took over the Dodgers in 2012, they've been a really good organization, period. There's no, if you look at, and I was looking at it this morning, if you look at the Dodgers just year by year, the one thing that this ownership group has been able to do, it's not easy in sports to do this. The one thing that they've been able to do is they are guaranteeing the Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. That's not easy. Okay, if you get into the postseason, anything can happen. So if you get into the playoffs, and I know Dodgers have had, whether they lost in the World Series or they lost in the NLDS or NLCS, they've had ups and downs like no other team in the World Series, but they also now have 2 World Series. But since the Guggenheim Group took over, they have 100% put themselves in a position where they're in the running every single year. They're going to win anywhere from 90 games to, and 90 is probably on the low end. I think 91 is the low end, or they're going to win up to 111 games. That's how good the Dodgers have been since the Guggenheim Group took over. They're always a top 5 team in the farm system. They're a good organization. I don't care how much money they spend. They're a good organization. They're a good organization because they crop their own players. They got a ton of players in the farm system that they're able to bring up, that they're able to churn into everyday Major League Baseball players. When they need to make a trade, they make a trade. They develop their own guys. They identify the right stars to go out there and get. There's no one questioning, are the Dodgers a good? Mets have a lot of money. Yankees have a lot of money. There's a lot of teams that have a lot of money. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but I think for the Dodgers, what it guarantees is they're going to make the playoffs every single year. The market is incredible. It's an incredible baseball market. The number 2 market in the country has got an unbelievable hunger for Dodgers and that fan base, and they show up every single night, and there's 50,000+ people that are there. They have entrenched themselves in the culture of LA, and then outside of LA, that certainly has gone to their advantage. This is my question, and these are the things that I don't understand in baseball. If money can't buy you a World Series, it can definitely help you. It can definitely put you in a position it will guarantee you a playoff spot, like I mentioned. This is the thing I don't understand about baseball. I'm gonna go first off that deferred money. The deferred money thing still doesn't make any sense to me. How the best player in baseball in Shohei Ohtani can sign a $700 million contract, but you don't have to pay him until he's no longer playing baseball anymore. Do you know the Dodgers now are close to, I saw this. Again, this is not the Dodgers' fault. This is all the Dodgers are doing are playing within the lines. This is all the Dodgers are doing is basically, what are the rules that you guys have set for Major League Baseball? We're going to play within those lines. We're just going to be better at it than everybody else. So this isn't a Dodgers problem. This isn't I can't believe the Dodgers are able to do it. That's not the Dodgers' fault. I'm asking this question from a Major League Baseball perspective. Do you know the Dodgers' deferred payroll it was $915 million after I think Will Smith got his deal last year during the season. Okay, now you're going to add obviously more money to that because there is a portion of Blake Snell's money that is deferred money as well. Shohei's got deferred money. Mookie's got deferred money. Freddie's got deferred money. Even Teoscar Hernandez in his 1-year deal has some deferred money. They're going to be close to $1 billion in deferred money, which basically means the Dodgers do not have to pay that until those contracts are done is when they'll start have to paying that. Now that bill's going to come due, but I don't think the Dodgers care. The Dodgers are like basically taking out a loan and saying, okay, so we could just keep printing money here, spending all this money, and whatever these bills are, we don't have to worry about. Who cares what those bills are down the road? We got Shohei and Mookie, and go look at how many people are coming to our games and everything else. Someone explained to me why there isn't a cap on deferred money. Someone explained that one to me. Why isn't there, hey, you can defer up to 25% of your contract? Just some type of a cap. Because what Shohei did, and this is kind of the chess piece versus checkers, what Shohei did for the Dodgers is, I'm signing with you. You don't have to pay me a dime. You're paying me $2 million a year. You don't have to pay me a dime. I'm going to also bring in just boatloads of money that are going to come in, and now go out there and sign Glass now, and go sign Blake Snell, and go sign Teoscar Hernandez, and go sign all these players on top of it, so that we just keep continuing to stack the deck. That's the one thing in baseball I don't understand. Why would you allow teams to defer money as much as they're doing? And I know the Dodgers are not the only team to defer money. I know this didn't happen once Shohei signed with the Dodgers, but that's a portion of baseball I don't fully understand. Okay, here's another portion of baseball that I don't fully understand. A salary cap. I know the owners I know the players don't want a salary cap. I understand that. I understand why they don't. They don't want to be like the NBA, and all of a sudden the owners have a lot more control. The players' union is as strong as they come. But are we sure we want teams this far apart from each other of what they're going to spend? I mean, how do you level the playing field as best as you can? I'm going to say it again. I said it earlier. This is not a Dodgers issue. This is a baseball issue. The Dodgers are playing within the rules. The Dodgers aren't cheating. The Dodgers aren't doing anything they're not allowed to do. The Dodgers are playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. And they're able to do that for a number of reasons. And there are other big market teams that are in baseball, and they just can't do it as good as the Dodgers. Maybe you don't change anything. Maybe this, when the dust settles, you just look at the Dodgers and you just say, this is their window. I don't think this window is going anywhere, by the way, because they got a taste of success that Guggenheim Group has found the perfect combination of. By the way, that ownership group, a lot of teams should take some notes on. Go find the right people and get the hell out of the way. And it feels like that's what the Dodgers have done. Andrew Friedman, they went out and got, probably part of the reason why they got Blake Snell is because his relationship with Snell out in Tampa. But just where baseball is sitting today, I have a difficult time understanding why there aren't more rules to just say, yeah, we know big market teams are going to have an advantage, not all the time. We know that there's some teams out there, just it could be Tampa Bay is a good example. Other teams out there that less money for them and they're able to just be more strategic. We know good franchises exist and bad franchises exist. But I have a difficult time understanding how a squad can have $1 billion in deferrals, and we obviously have no salary cap or anything like that. Dodgers are just separating themselves further and further from the pack. And I don't think there's a solution out there, but I'll go back to my original question. Is this good for baseball? Outside of just being a Dodger fan, is it good for baseball? I think is a fair question here. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Let's take a look at some of the comments. All right, here's what we got. Jay Sports, thank you very much for the super, my brother. Is this good for baseball? It's a win-win for baseball and Dodger fans. As opposed to the NBA, baseball actually grew its viewership last season. Well, I think I don't know about. I think anytime you have big market teams in it, Dodgers and the Yankees in the World Series, yes, if you can get Lakers and the Celtics every year in the NBA Finals, if you can get Lakers and the Knicks in the NBA Finals, how's that going to do for viewership? Of course, you got the two top markets. But let me explain something to you from an NFL perspective. In the NFL, you don't need big markets to have crazy ratings. Buffalo and KC played each other. What was that? Maybe 2-3 weeks ago, something like that. Those aren't big market teams. Go look at what those ratings did. I think your league is the healthiest when you're not dependent just on the market. So, I think that would be the question. And listen, the NFL is king, so there might not be a solution to any of that stuff. But Jay, I appreciate the super. I don't know if that's the the angle that I would take. I think there's probably better angles or more things to explain from that perspective. All right, let's get another one here. Sleeve, free enterprise system. They have the have and have nots. It's the system setup. Some owners refuse to spend the cash and they make it their team to make their teams better. If you can't sign players, sell the team. Let me tell you something. This, and I hope I'm coming off giving the proper credit to the Dodgers. The way I started this conversation is I give a lot of the credit to the Dodgers and that Guggenheim group. You're right. There are owners out there that are not reinvesting back into their team. The Dodgers clearly got no problem reinvesting into their team. That's exactly what they're doing. The Dodgers are not, they're not sitting back and saying, you know what, we won a World Series. Let's start selling some of these players off, whether Dodger fans like it or not. Let's just cash in and now keep the money for ourselves. No, they're reinvesting right back in. And what was our payroll last year? Cool. Let's keep going. It's more the system I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the Dodgers. Here's another great one. Dodgers had a strong farm before all these deferrals. I never said anything about the farm system. I complimented the farm system. I was looking at one of the latest farm systems, but I don't even need to look at it. They're always top 5. Usually they're 1 or 2 or 3. They're always top 5. In the one of the latest ratings that I saw, this was ranking the MLB farm system out there. It might have been right after the trade deadline, and this was on MLB.com. They were 5th. And look at the teams that are top 5. And this tells you the Dodgers play in both pools. They spend money and they got some of the best scouting in all of baseball. Tampa's number 1. They have no choice but to have a good farm system. Minnesota's number 2. They have no choice but to have a strong farm system. Baltimore is number 3, same position. Number 4 is Cleveland, and then number 5 is the Dodgers. All the teams that are top 5 in that farm system are all squads that have to be top 5 in the farm system. They don't have any other choice. The Dodgers are saying, not only are we going to be the best with who we sign, not only do we have all the money in the world, but we're also going to, like I mentioned, from a farm system perspective, put themselves in the spot there. Get a couple more here. Can't argue that. Can't argue. They're a well-oiled organization. I really cannot argue that. All right, let's see what else we got here. Market matters in baseball. Look at the Rangers versus D-backs World Series, lowest rated in years. Yeah, I here's what I don't want to, and I think the argument is the conversation. Maybe this is where you guys are taking the conversation. Maybe you guys are saying, no, the Dodgers are such a good brand or a big brand. They're better for business if they're in the mix here. I guess what I'm saying is this a level playing field? And baseball does not seem like a level playing field from my perspective. Where I could tell you football, pretty level playing field. Basketball, Lakers are going to have advantages on things, but Denver can go out and win a championship. Some of these other teams. And actually, as I sit here, I mean, you look at the last 10 years or so, there's been a lot of small market. Nationals won a World Series. Texas just won a World Series. Arizona got to the World Series. So we're probably not at a position by any stretch to say, this has got out of whack. But it feels like the Dodgers are going towards a position where that's where it's going to end up being. Okay, I'm going to kind of turn the page here. Salary cap helps owners like Bus and Spano's ownership. All I'm saying is, having a more level playing field is ultimately, I think, good for the game. What the Dodgers are doing right now, they're playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. I'm going to finish it off, and this will be my last thing on the Dodgers, and we're going to move on from the Dodgers. Last thing I'm going to say is this is not the Dodgers' fault. Dodgers are playing they're playing the game. They're just playing it better than everybody else. And then they have all these other things that on top of the advantages that they have, they're taking full advantage of it.